Today is Monday, Parashat Vayera. In the parasha of this week, at the beginning, the first pasuk says, Vayera elav Hashem be'elone mamre. And Hashem appeared to him, to Abraham, in this place called Elone Mamre. And Rashi explains, Levaker et hachole. Hashem came to visit the sick because Abraham had done his circumcision. This was the third day after the circumcision. That was the most difficult in terms of pain. And Hashem came to visit him. ובא הקדוש ברוך הוא ושאל בשלומו. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu came and asked about how he's doing. The Chok Nisel of today, in the Halakha Psuka, it speaks about the mitzvah of Bikur Cholim, the mitzvah of visiting the sick, a very important mitzvah to keep in mind. When somebody is not well, we have a mitzvah to visit him, and it goes into the details of this mitzvah. Mitzvah levaker cholim hakerovim ve'achaverim nichnasim miyad. It's a commandment to visit the sick. Those who are close relatives and friends go in immediately to visit. Ve'arechokim, those who are more distant, the distant people. Achar shlosha yamim, after 3 days. Ve'im kafatz alav hacholi, but if the illness came upon him suddenly and it's difficult and he needs visitors and people should come, elu va'elu nichnasim miyad, both those and those go in immediately. Afilu hagadol yelech levaker hakatan. Even a person who is important, is a great person, yelech levaker hakatan, he should go visit someone who's not as important, someone who's not as prominent. Va'afilu kama pe'amim, even a few days by yom, in the day. Va'afilu ben gilo, even if somebody born at the same time as the sick person. In Masechet Baba Metziah, it says that when a person was born on the same day, if you go visit somebody who has the same birthday as you, that a person who comes to visit takes 1/60th of the illness of the one who's ill, and in other words, it will go to the person who's visiting. Still, you still have the obligation to go and visit the ill. And anyone who visits more, the more you visit, the more he's praiseworthy. However, ubilvad, shelo yatriach lo. However, you have to be careful, providing that it's not an imposition, it's not a burden for the person who's not well. So you have to be sort of like thinking, is this something that may be an imposition? And if you feel that it's an imposition, that it's a burden on the person you're visiting, then you should refrain from visiting that person. But in general, the governing rule is that more you visit, the better it is, unless it's a burden on the person. המבקר את החולה לא יושב על גבי מיטה ולא על גבי כיסא ולא על גבי ספסל, אלא מתעטב ויושב לפניו. Now, he says here that a person that goes visit the sick should not sit on a bed, or sit on a chair, or sit on a bench, but he should cover himself and sit before him. And the Rabbi explains that this applies when the sick person is lying on the floor. So if you sit on a chair, on a bed, or on a bench, you're sitting at a higher level than the sick person. That would not be proper to do. Because it says here, God's presence is above the head of his bed. In other words, there is next to the head of the person who's ill, the divine presence is there, and the person should not sit higher than the sick person. But if a person who's sick is laying on a bed, just typically like it is nowadays, people usually don't lay down on a mattress on the floor, they rather are laying on a bed, then it is not a problem to sit on a chair next to him. But if he was like in the old times where people would lay on a mattress on the floor, then when you go to visit the ill, you should make sure that you don't sit at a higher level than him, but rather should sit also on the floor next to him. Or in front of him, rather. אין מבקרים החולה בשלוש שעות ראשונות של יום, מפני שכל חולה מקל עליו חוליו בבוקר, ולא יכול לבקש עליו רחמים. We should not visit the ill in the first 3 hours of the day. In other words, if the day starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, sunrise and sunset is at 6, just for discussion's sake, then you don't visit the person before 9 o'clock. Because between 6 and 9, when the day starts, the first 3 hours of the day, or if it was 10, maybe to 10, 7 o'clock to 10 in the morning, those first 3 hours in the morning, the person feels typically better. And since he's going to look much better to you, you'll say, this guy's not sick, and you're not going to pray for him. Because when we pray for somebody who's ill, those prayers do help. So if you come early in the morning, when he's looking much better, you will not pray for him. And you don't visit a sick person in the last 3 hours of the day. So let's say if the day finishes at 6, you don't visit him after 3 o'clock. Why? Because typically, the person in the last 3 hours of the day, if his illness becomes more severe, it looks like he's doing not so good at all. You might lose hope. And might lose hope and not pray for that person that he should feel better. So the best time to visit is after the first 3 hours in the day and before the last 3 hours of the day. By the way, Rama asks that whoever visits the sick and does not pray for mercy for him did not fulfill the mitzvah of visiting the sick. Just visiting is part of it. Asking Hashem that He should give him refuah shelema, that He should make him feel better, is really the completion of that mitzvah. You visit him, you make him feel better, you uplift his morale. And morale is so important for a person that is not well. Many times the mental state is what makes the big difference to get a person on the way to recovery and to give him the strength to be able to recover. So that visit to uplift the morale is very important, but it doesn't end there. Your prayer when you visit the sick is very important. Your prayer to Hashem that He should make him feel better is the completion of that mitzvah of Bikur Cholim. And these were some of the halachot that have to do with this mitzvah of visiting the sick of Bikur Cholim. Baruch Adonai le'olam, Amen ve'amen. And may anyone, Am Yisrael, who needs refuah shelema, may be blessed with good health and refuah shelema. Amen. Ken yehi ratzon. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.